right, well, good afternoon, everyone. It is 3:04 and the Downtown Development Authority meeting for October 24th is called to order. Ms. Clay, can we have a roll call, please?
Butler,
Present.
Eric Stallings, Jacqueline Faith, Nancy Howard, Trey Holland,
Present.
Davil Shaw, Nisha Jones.
Present. All right, thank you. Is there a motion to adopt today's agenda? That was Trey. Is there a second?
Second.
That was Nisha. Is there any discussion? Let's see. Ms. Clay, roll call vote, please.
Angeline Butler,
Yes.
Mayor Butler,
Well,
Nancy Howard,
I guess I'm always the mayor.
Trey Holland, Davil Shaw, Nisha Jones. Yeah.
All right, new business, discussion of WCC contract review and renewal. What is WCC?
Oh, good afternoon. WCC is the landscape vendor that previously had the contract for the fountain on Main and the fountain area. His contract has expired. If you will remember, when we bid this out and awarded him the contract, we gave a 6-month contract because he was unknown and untested. We've had some hiccups and challenges with the landscaping of the fountain. His contract ended in August of 2024. So where we are right now is we don't have a contract. We don't have a vendor for the landscaping of the fountain area. This is different than Anderson that does the grass maintenance of all of our downtown district properties. This is specifically for the landscape around the fountain, and particularly the replanting of the flowers of the Forest Park outlaid in the brick. So I wanted to have a quick discussion around two different options. We do need a new vendor. It is the staff's opinion that we do not renew a contract with WCC to be the landscape vendor for the fountain. It is my recommendation that we rebid and look at Duncan's again, who did the initial landscaping at the fountain, as well as we can get a contract or a proposal from Anderson that currently does the other landscaping and grass maintenance. And I forget, and forgive me, I can't remember the third person that we had gotten a fresh start that we had also gotten a contract from. However, the second piece of this is that there was delay in payment of him. So now that we are caught up with all of the payments and the funds that we owe WCC, part of his issue was that he did not have the funds to purchase the required materials and the required flowers to do the landscaping. Now that that has been addressed and remediated, it is my opinion that he still needs to honor the contract, even though he is out of contract. So I'm looking for some guidance from the board in how you want to move forward with shoring up the landscaping and then moving on with a new vendor going forward.
Okay, wait, I'm confused. First, why was his payment delayed?
Well, part of the issue with the delay of payment was that we didn't have a budget for 2 months, about 2 months thereabouts. And Director Wiggins is here and can hold me honest as well. So there was a delay in getting a final approved budget for the DDA. We finally worked through that. We now have a budget. And then the process of just going through the process to get him paid. He has been paid. He has been taken care of. But my issue is that he hasn't done the work that we contracted for him to do, even though his contract is now expired. Yes, I mean, his issue in every conversation that myself and Mr. Shelby have had with him is, well, I need to get paid. I need to get paid so I can buy the flowers. Well, now he's been paid. I still need him to go forward with completing the work. Yes, I have. He was like, yeah, okay, well, just let me know. I mean, I think this is going to be a bigger conversation that I need to have a much more firm sit down with him, with Mr. Nigel and Mr. Shelby, who have been the WCC handlers, and getting that work done.
Still confused.
Curious as to, was that ever brought to the attention of finance or myself that we could not pay someone for 2 months. I never knew that until there was an email correspondence. I believe it went to Mayor Butler, we were in a meeting or something. That's the first I heard of that, because you can, even without a budget.
Mm-hmm.
That, there's a way that we can,
Mhm.
because we don't wanna look.
I'm gonna slide and let you.
As if we don't
We're
pay
not
our
paying
bills.
our vendors.
And second, WCC was never a landscaper, they were only cutting grass.
Well, but part of his, and I do have his scope of work, Director Wiggins, pull up the scope of work of what he was supposed to be doing.
Now, I know it wasn't within his scope, everything was out, it was outside of his wheelhouse.
Right. So part of what he was supposed to be doing was, sorry, mowing, fertilization and weed control, pruning, fertilization of the shrubs and trees during the pre-emergence, edging, cleanup, mulching of beds and weed control, seasonal color, which included the annual flowers. And this is specifically about the flowers inside the Forest Park brick over there on College. And that was to install spring and fall flowers. So the issue is not so much him doing the cutting, because he was pretty faithful and consistent with doing the cutting and the edging, et cetera. We did have issues with him doing the weed control and spraying of the weeds, particularly around the fountain. And the biggest issue was we don't have flowers. We still don't have flowers inside that Forest Park brick. Go ahead.
And good evening, everybody. Well, good afternoon. With the paying of customers, we can get around that. Don't, we don't like to, because we, it's, you get dinged by the auditors when you paying stuff and you don't have a budget there. I think in this particular situation, I didn't know that this guy was holding up because, I'm not getting paid, so I'm not gonna cut anything. I just thought that since we didn't have a budget, that was the issue.
He owes us stuff, that's legal, like.
He owes us the flowers. He owes the flowers.
I was just half dang year, I'm sorry, trying to make how you handle that, how long has that been going on? And he's holding flowers that we paid for under a contract.
Now, when did we pay him? When did we eventually pay him?
I mean, he's gotten paid for the work that he's done. He just didn't get it when within
On-
that
Within the
timeframe in
time
which he
frame that he was
expected it.
expected it?
To buy the flowers.
Right.
But how long ago was that? What I'm trying to figure out is how
How long?
this issue get.
That I don't know.
I think the flowers was due since spring.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
Since spring.
no, something. Wait, I'm sorry. Is this Danielle? I'm Attorney Metroparty. Do an executive session? Okay, we need to continue this in executive session. I'd make a motion to recess and go into executive session to discuss litigation, real estate, legal matters, and personnel matters. Okay, that was Nashay, a second by Trey. All in favor? All right, yeah, let's go. adjourn the executive session and reconvene into a regular meeting. That was Nashade, a second by Trey, all in favor? Okay. So back to item 2. We are not going to renew the contract with WCC. The financial report.
Good afternoon. The financial report, this is for, the month of September. We started out with the operating cash. We have the beginning balance on one of the accounts, which is the checking 0510. 1,595,358. We got an ending balance because we have deposits of 667,419. Then you had some withdrawals and some debits, which was 24,541, which gave you an ending balance for that, 2,238,236. Coming to the next account, which is your Series 2023B, account number ending in 3693. You had a beginning balance of 1,273,397. You had deposits of 3,418. Withdrawals and debits 122,130. Ending balance is 1,154,685. And then the last bank account you have, the Main Street checking at 1160, beginning balance of 1,226,579, deposits 3,342, withdrawals of 149,865, ending balance 1,080,056. Moving on to the operating revenue. Not a big change. You only had the year to date. Actual with that is 141,394. You got the operating, moving down to the operating expense. You had the year-to-date actuals of, for the month of September, ending September, 17,916. You have some encumbrance that's sitting in there that's waiting to be paid, which is 4,476. Moving on to the do you have any questions
Any questions?
on that page? Next page, the next 3 pages, one of them is on the back of it. It's basically just graphs of the 3 sections from the first sheet. Also included, after these graphs, I've included a report that shows your department payment report. This shows what payments went out in September for the DDA through the Encode system. And this is pretty much all the account lines that have been hit with some, with an invoice that's been paid.
I'm sorry, Mayor Butler. Just one inquiry. For check number 001197, it's cut to Anderson Lawn Care. What's the date on this? It appears that that's one check for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 invoices. Or am I looking at that wrong?
No, you're looking at it right. Anderson Lawn Care, that's,
Do we pay them every month?
no, I don't think we pay him every.
Typically get invoices from him because he cuts every week. So we typically get an invoice usually every other week from him.
And they're doing all the property outside of the fountain.
But we get an invoice every other week, how would we have 9 that went up? That means 2, 4, 6, 8, at a minimum 4 months. And it looks like it's escalated from 938, 1260, and then it went up again to 1270.
There was an addition of properties.
So it might be separated by properties as far as, but I'll have to check and see, for each one of these, transactions to see what date that it transpired.
Can we get a list of all the vendors that that are working for us? Because this is landscaping. That was the issue with WCC. They are not landscapers. But if we got one company do everything,
I think that was our initial goal. To combine this.
Yes, ma'am. When does Anderson's contract expire? And they're only grass cutters, right?
Yes, they do grass, mulch.
So why we're expecting flowers from them?
no, we're expecting flowers from WCC.
Okay,
I don't know.
They're cutting 1,000 Main Street by that plaza down there.
All right, we gotta approve this report. Were you done?
Yes.
You were, okay, thank you.
And behind that report, I included the, Georgia Fund One, statement. This is money that was, moved over to, so we can start, reaping the benefits.
Where is that?
It should be behind that report we was just talking about.
Okay, I see it. So of the 4 million that we have, 2 million is in this account?
Yeah, so basically it'd be 60.
Oh, so this 2 million is in addition to this 4 million?
Yes. It's not part of those. I'll show you the, behind this one, I've also included the bank accounts also. The 3 bank accounts that we talked about, the operating cash,
Mhm.
I included those. This here, I'm including this because of the high yield that you get, the 5.168.
Mhm.
So basically monthly, you're getting about $8,600, $13 every month, long as money stay in there. Now, and that comes out every month. So we're trying to reap the benefit as long as we can with that 5.16, which is one of the highest, and especially with Georgia Fund One.
I guess one thing you could do is offer the interest payment that you're gonna get from this money being invested, let that fund, that maker's mark, whatever you call it, it's a name for that, I just can't think of it right now. Let that fund, that work.
And you can do that. You can do that. You can take the interest, just let us
Or
know
you
so
have
we
to
can
cover, like, our
transfer it.
monthly bills too.
It is.
We can transfer it out back to one of the checking accounts that you use to cut checks from.
You can get this in 24 hours, right?
Pretty much, yeah, yeah, because yeah. They do, it's a limit though, and that's, I was just getting confused with the URA because they have the same setup. It's only 5 million, if you go over 5 million, that's when you run into issues about it's gonna take a little longer
Yeah.
to move money. And then behind that, I included the bank accounts. You can see with the first one, you have an ending balance of 2.2. And I think we've already, yeah. They're pretty much the next 3 bank statements already stated in that first cover sheet, the ending balances on it. So that's your ending balance with that 2.2, and then you got the 1 and 1, so you got it's about
Mhm.
6 million. And that's it for the DDA financial report. I also wanted to discuss, I can pass this out too, if I can, city manager. I mean, interform, we did an interform analysis. The reason why we have, we're in audit time. And that we're trying to finish up the year-end audit. So now we've gotten to the point where we are going through our due tos and due froms. So, with the analysis that we've done with, all of the due to, due from, from the general fund to all the city authorities, we've come up with the funds owing each other. And let me pass this out first so everybody can be on the same page. All right, on that first cover sheet, through the analysis, we came up with three transactions that need to happen on the books, so we can move forward with a clean slate in the audit. The first one is the general fund owes the DDA $72,353. The next transaction was the DDA owes the general fund $2,989,403. Third transaction was the DDA owes the DA fund $916,390.
No, you gotta, let's start back with number one. Why?
Well, some of the stuff wasn't moved previously. It just sat there on the books.
I think the law is more specific to what it is.
Okay, if you move on to the next sheet behind it. Here are the actual transactions through the analysis. The first one, the 72,000, which was special tax assessment over at Gillum, 1,100 and 1,200. This was multiple years that this 72,000 has been kind of building, that the general fund owes the DDA. The next one is the pilot payment, the 2 million. That's just the pilot payment recorded in the DDA transfer to the general fund. Apparently, the transaction, it didn't happen on the books that the transfer happened.
But it's already been paid.
Yeah, because
This is
it
theoretical.
exactly, all this is theoretical. No,
It's actually cleaning up the book. Cleaning up.
and that's what we're doing, because for some reason, it didn't move. So,
Wait, so when did you move $2 million?
I think I can explain this in a different way. The money was paid, the pilot payment came in.
Right.
Everything was handled. On the actual balance sheet, it's not reflected.
exactly. So the balance sheet, that's what's out of whack. I wouldn't say out of whack, but that's what needs to be, cleared up before we move forward in finishing up the audit. See, the pilot payments were made. This is from last year.
Because the pilot payments go into one general account.
Well, true, but the way everything was kind of set up when the pilot payments were put into effect was, they come in to one account, one authority, they move over to the general fund, and then general fund pays it out to where these pay, as far as, because we're paying back the bonds and the loans that we have for that. That's why you have this pilot payment.
But it goes to the DA, correct?
Mm-hmm. DA comes in, DA catches, I think about 3 million. I think one of them, through all the payments is about 3 million that come in, but then it's dispersed differently, and then it comes back to the general fund, and that's,
Mhm.
in that particular, in that whole transaction, it didn't happen on the books, but it happened in theory because we paid the loans. We paid back the people that we supposed to pay back. But see, now we need to go back, well, move forward, because this is as of, for this fiscal year, 2024. Last fiscal year, I'm sorry, which was 23-24.
So essentially, if you already had $4 million in their account, this, let's just easy math, this one was 2 million,
Mm-hmm.
right? When they see their balance sheet next month, they're not gonna see only 2 million remaining, because this stuff already happened. This is just back end work cleaned up for all of them.
Right. Now, when we go back and see that 4 million you see that's on the balance sheet, you know, the, next time you see it, it'll be cleaned up the way you will see what it's supposed to be, which is the 2 million. See what I'm saying? Instead of,
But it won't change these numbers.
no. The numbers that we've already discussed is not gonna be changed. That's current. We're talking about money that's sitting on the books that need to be fixed up on the balance sheet.
That makes sense, Mayor Butler. This was actually one of the findings on our audit report. And what was happening is there was movement in finances, but there was no recordation of such movement.
So we-
And what they're trying to do is fix it in real time to where it's reflected. This is the administrative issue.
Right, because if you keep going on, and we can get by on the audit because it's not material, it just keeps building up, and then you get to a point where I leave, another person come in, the other folks, you know, you have other people leave and come back. It'd be hard for them to try to go back and backtrack and try to find. You would have to now start thinking about Marlon Jenkins doing it instead of us. So we're just trying to catch stuff early.
Okay, do we need to vote on this?
Yes. And what we would like for is every time the audit come around, because the interfund analysis come up every audit. So you can put in, I guess, a motion to say, just let us go through the audit without, but if we need to come back every year, we can.
From the interfund analysis. All right, is there a motion to adopt the recommendation from the interfund analysis? That was Nancy. Is there a second? Second. That was Ms. Shea. Is there any discussion? All right, Ms. Clay, can you do a roll call vote?
Mayor Butler,
Yes.
Eric Stallings, Jacqueline Faith, Nancy Howard, Trey Holland,
Yes.
Donald Shaw.
It's not here. It's the
Michelle
vote.
Jones.
Yes.
All right, so then, thank you. The next item is the DDA bylaws amendment.
Afternoon again. In your packets is a resolution that has been prepared to make amendments to two amendments to the existing Downtown Development Authority bylaws. It's on page 6 of your packet. In section 1, subsection 2, under the powers, we need to add a line, as the DDA is also the board of our Main Street program. And so what we're asking for the amendment to be is that in the exercise of its powers, the authority utilizes the Main Street approach as established by the Georgia Department of Community Affairs Main Street Program. The second amendment is section 3. Previously, our meetings were Thursday, the fourth Thursday at 5:30. It has been amended to 3 p.m. There's a typo in the packet before you, but the version that the mayor has is correct, reflecting the correct time of our meeting at 3 p.m.
All right, so those are the only two changes. Is there a motion to approve the bylaws amendment? That was Trey. Is there a second?
Second.
That was Ms. Shea. Is there any discussion? Ms. Clay?
Mayor Butler,
Yes.
Nancy Howard, Trey Holland, Nisha Jones.
Yes.
All right, thank you. The Clear Channel buyout, is there a motion to approve the Clear Channel buyout? Of,
The lease termination agreement.
Okay.
with Clear Channel.
is there a motion to approve the lease termination agreement with Clear Channel? That was Nancy. Is there a second? That was Trey. Is there any discussion? All right, Ms. Clay?
Mayor Butler,
Yes.
Nancy Howard, Trey Holland, Nisha Jones.
Yes.
Okay, we got a Main Street update and the oh,
There'd
the,
be a motion to authorize the city manager to execute a task order with precision planning for a rendering of a maker's studio.
all right, that was Trey. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, that was Ms. Shea. Is there any discussion? Ms. Clay?
Mayor Butler.
Yes.
Nancy Howard, Trey Holland, Nisha Jones.
Yes.
Okay, so these updates don't need any approval, right? Because I got two of my board members have to go.
Yes. Understood.
Well, you still have some time.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
No promise.
So I wanted to provide for you a quick update on our, you said push down, right? There we go. On our Main Street program and our Main Street designation. As you will remember, back in October of last year, we submitted our initial interest form and application to be accepted as part of the DCA Georgia Main Street program. We were accepted as a Main Street startup program in August of 2024. We are working through this year very diligently so that we will be approved as affiliate status, which I'm confident that we will be approved as full affiliate status in August of 2025. Our monthly calls with the DCA started in September, which includes a whole bunch of metrics and reporting, et cetera, et cetera. A quick rundown of the events on Main that we have had in 2024. We kicked off Main Street in March with our St. Patrick's Day Festival. Main Street Food and Wine Crawl in April, our Up Early on Main series, which is our early Saturday morning yoga, dog park breakfast, and goodies series in September. We had our Fabulous Blues on Main event on October the 11th, Up Early in Main again on October the 19th. On this coming Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., we are hosting Pottober on Main Street in partnership with Animal Control, Forest Park Animal Control, as well as the Happy Tails Foundation. There's an opportunity to come out, bring your fur babies, dress them up in a costume if they'll let you put clothes on them, and enjoy some time on Main Street. We are partnering with Recreation and Leisure on November 2nd, which is next Saturday. For the first time ever, the city's Fall Festival will be held on Main Street. So we're blocking Main Street from College, but right past, basically right in front of 850 Main down to Lake will be blocked. And there are bounce houses and a VR truck and all kinds of stuff. So we're super excited to be able to work with them on that. We will round out our year with Small Business Saturday again. Last year was the first year as a city that we participated in Small Business Saturday. We're happy to bring that back. And then we will have Holiday on Main running through the month of December. Holiday on Main for us looks like a couple of things. Last year, we hosted a holiday business decorating contest We're looking to do that again. We had a few people participate and it was absolutely fantastic. And so our goal is really to light up Main Street and get a different type of energy around our Main Street. We are excited that to have new holiday decor coming to Main Street, which will also include decorating at the fountain this year. Some of our proposed events for Maine for 2025 include a Fashion on Main, details yet to be worked out sometime for the spring. Main Street Food and Wine Crawl in April, but there may be a possibility that fashion, food, and wine might get all mixed up in one super fabulous event. Looking to bring back Up Early on Main for May and June of 2025. We initially had Up Early scheduled to go through November. It's too cold. Last Saturday, it was quite chilly to be out that early in the morning, but we are going to bring it back for May and June and then do it again in August and September. We most definitely will bring back Blues on Main in October, again, followed by Small Business Saturday and Holiday on Main. Couple of quick updates on the events themselves. The first, Up Early, we had about 12 people showed up and did yoga. And it was exciting that we also had some people that we don't typically see that show up for our events that came out. We had a pop-up dog park, thanks to the genius of Nigel and Public Works, who figured out and took my vision and the mayor's vision and figured out how to do a pop-up dog park. And again, we did complimentary breakfast and just all around music and good vibes. For the event last Saturday, we had about 5 people that did yoga, maybe 3 or so dogs. It was cold. But we also had mini pumpkin painting. So thank you to Nishay and Jonesy's Place for facilitating our pumpkin painting. Blues on Main, we had 19 VIP tables. Which translated to about 150 people in the VIP area and about another 250 on the street, if not more. We had 4 food vendors, 3 beverage stations. We offered a VIP complimentary reception for the first 90 minutes. We had 4 absolutely stellar and amazing performances. We have gone viral on social media, including TikTok, which I think were some of the Public Works guys that ended up on TikTok. We secured 3,300 in sponsorships. We spent 45 and some change against our $50,000 budget. Couple of quick lessons. I think overall it was an absolutely fantastic event. The outpouring from the community was tremendous. And even till today, the feedback that we're still getting from people has been fantastic. And they're like, when are you doing this again? Definitely as we look for 2025, needing to reevaluate our pricing for our tables and figuring out how else we can monetize some things to make a little bit more money off of the event. But all around, it was absolutely fantastic. Small Business Saturday is coming up on November the 30th. Last year, we had 7 active participants for 2023. Our goal is at least to double that for this year. One of the things that we did, and I think having the benefit of being able to start the planning of this a lot earlier, last year we did a series of video and photo reels. Did I say that right? Photos and video reels highlighting our small businesses. We work very closely with PIO and going out into the community and doing interviews, which went well, and posted those throughout the month of November. We will look to do that again. Holiday on Main is really the light up the city and spread cheer. It's again our annual business holiday decorating contest. I'm asking that the DDA board serve as our judges for our holiday exterior businesses for this year, and the best storefront receives a complimentary business breakfast. Last year, it was compliments of our city manager, so we'll see if we can convince him to do that again for, if we can get him to do that again for this year. And last year, it was the Army Navy store won the contest.
That was a Continental.
Huh?
No,
It
no,
was
no.
Chick-fil-A.
It was Chick-fil-A. Yeah, it was simple. So you can do that. Yeah. So, okay. So some opportunities, future projects and things that we're working through. One is working on a Main Street logo. It's in development. We started on it and then we got busy and had to stop. So we need to pick that back up and figuring out how we brand Main Street. Yeah, no, you're fine. Cause yeah,
And I think for consistency.
I agree.
All of them in a way.
Thank you, because you took my request out of my mouth, because I was going to ask you, can I get LeVar to do it? So thank you. Yeah. As we talk about Destination Main Street, a couple of things that I want us to start to look at and want to see kind of starting to roll out, particularly for the spring. Public art and murals, what that starts to look like for our community. One of the things, and I know that we had had a previous conversation with Georgia Power about painting the junction boxes, and we're told, no, maybe we can't, but I know they do this in other communities. So I've got a couple of calls into some of my counterparts in other communities that have branded, painted junction boxes to figure out, well, how did you do it? So we can bring that here. One of the things that I'm in the city, not to be named, that I started, and we didn't get too terribly far with it, was doing public art with our fire hydrants. And we'd worked out with the fire department what kind of paint we could use, because it needs to be reflective, and there's a reflective collar that you can still do on that. And if we can do something like that, or at least consider doing something like that in the Main Street area. The other thing is around gathering spaces. So we had a conversation, this has probably been 4 or 6 months ago now, with a company that does these very cool artsy, but benches. And I think you actually kicked them over to us. They're a little pricey. So haven't forgotten about them, but want to bring that back to the table, particularly once we have dirt turning and sticks going up on some of the development on Main Street. I think then this stuff will start to make a little bit more sense. The other thing too is wanting to do a little bit more around a sense of place. And right now, my working hashtag, I haven't decided if this is going to be it or not, and I'm welcome to your suggestions, is FP on Main. One of the things that we want is that people, when you are in and around Main Street, take a picture. I'm down at the fountain. I'm walking down Main Street. Take a picture of yourself in and around the Main Street area. Tag us with FP on Main Street, and making this a monthly contest in a way that we start to create some synergy and getting people to come downtown. The other thing is we need a Main Street volunteer program. As we are increasing the number of events and activities that we do, it is a yeoman's task. For a department as small as us and overburdening continuously our public works crew, as well as other staff. And so wanting to roll out a Main Street volunteer program, complete with an application, if we have to do background checks, et cetera, and some branded collateral so that we have a designated crew of volunteers to help us kick off and maintain our events. And then finally, I just want to show a couple of photos. There are on social if you haven't seen them already, but it was an absolutely fantastic and magical evening. Thank you to everyone that came, for everyone that sponsored. Thank you, Denmark Ashby, for your table sponsorship and your additional sponsorship donation of the event. And I have to say, this little lady was in a wheelchair, and she was just like, oh no, turn me loose, turn me loose. But I mean, she just, it was an absolutely fantastic night. And that's all I got. Oh, one other thing real quick, and I'll leave these on the table for you. We are having our Forest Park Business Association breakfast on Wednesday, November 20th, here in Council Chambers. And so I've got some handouts for you as well. And that is it. Are there any questions?
Business Saturday, I really want us to be intentional here with that. That is something we can make a big bang.
Yep.
Just by speaking to some of them, a passport would be good.
Yeah, I love the idea of a passport. One of the things that we're gonna do, I'm sorry. I had to get out my head because it was gonna leave.
Print the passport, work with several businesses.
Mm.
Kind of like to say, maybe, you know, that day, if you present your passport, you get 50% off of particular service, really driving that home.
Mm.
You know, that kind of stuff is fun.
Mm-hmm.
People in the community because they get to experience.
Right. Right. One of the things that we were also looking at doing, and we've done in the past, is working with code enforcement. Because they've become some of our frontline soldiers because they're out and visiting businesses on a more regular basis and they've got more people to cover more bandwidth than we can. So we will definitely look at bringing code enforcement back into this. We started late last year. I think it was came together a week before Small Business Saturdays, and we definitely have got more time this year. And I do love the idea of a passport. Any other questions? Nope. Thank you much.
I really enjoyed it. That was really fun.
It
I
was
think
a lot of fun.
I love to see the fact that all the community was together, you know, with every race, every sex, and gender, and just all, that was really, really fun. And I think it really showed us how we can activate that fountain.
Absolutely. And I'm still getting asked, like, when are we doing it again?
When are we?
You can do it tomorrow. You give you some money.
You know, the key to it is, I can't go on, shut up. The only way you make money on those types of events is if you have sponsorships, and then you're not really making money, you're breaking even.
Yeah.
And so, the bigger the artist, the more you can charge, but some of these people that you can go see for free, nobody's gonna pay for them. But, that's where your money really comes from.
We don't have a quorum yet, so we can't. Yeah. Oh, no, we already approved it. Okay, so last is the economic development update. Brief. update.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I want to give my economic development update. Some of the things I mentioned in executive session, but I will give you some highlights. We met with several real estate developers and brokers, South City Partners, Hamilton Homes Jr., Terminus Group, Raoul Clark, Peril Strategies, Novair Development Group, and Greenwood CRE. We've held several economic development open house forums where we've had at least 25 people show up. That was a forum to get some insight on what people want to see economic development wise across the city. We've attended the Georgia Power Retail Summit. Ms. Dennis attended that yesterday, which was a forum where various economic developers get together to learn about retail strategies for their community. We assisted planning community development, the Georgia Outdoor Grant. We also are continue to work on and making headway with Project Splash. Over the past 2 months, we've helped and assisted respective businesses about 16 different inquiries to our department. So we've also visited 2 businesses for our Ward 2 business walks, Bryant Tax and Labor Finders. We also did a visit with Clorox for a business retention follow-up visit. And we're planning on actually doing a visit, myself and Mr. Clark, with them, I believe in November, for a tour of their facility for Ward 3, Ward 4. So that is my economic development update. I hope that was speedy.
All right, any questions or comments?
Just one, the issue with Clorox, did that get addressed, the lighting, about that road?
So
Working on that. I know you said you're gonna meet with them.
right, yeah, and then we did follow up with police. So the police are actually doing a route over there currently, and then the police is going to connect them, send over a contact so they can get their own flock camera. So
All right, thank you so much. Is there anything else, anyone, questions or comments? All right, not hearing any,
Mayor Butler, we had authorization as director, I'm sorry. Ms. Dennis talked about the Christmas lights. Do we need to put that on record, Mayor Butler, or? I know you have authorization up to $1 million, but I don't know if you want to put that on record.
Yeah, we need to. Well, we don't have a quorum right now. We lost our quorum. Thank you. But it's to help revitalize Main Street, and with the whole holidays coming up, we're gonna purchase new Christmas lights.
And this is the first time, Mayor Butler, in how long? now?
Decades.
Mhm.
At least 5, 6 years, or even longer.
No, longer.
Yeah,
Because
well,
what we
almost
did
said-
while I've been in office, just like replacing,
Yeah.
like here and there. So these are
Yes.
brand,
Yes.
oh, but the skating rink, what were we?
For the ice skating. Fabrice is handling that. I know they
Okay.
met with Georgia Power to get the power installed down there. I'll follow up right now.
All right, thank you. All right, meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone. See you
And
next
don't
week.
forget, Forest Park is a better place to work than Riverdale. And you can close to home. Bye. Have a good day, Mayor. All right, drop off. Cheers. Monday. That's the only person I like.
For you.
I couldn't help myself, the intrusive thought for
Getting new decorations for
You need
the
me to, you want it right now?
everything.
Oh, no,
to
I gotta get the
Ray
seal.
and all of that.
I gotta put the seal on it.
Well, do you guys need the seal?
You thought.
DDA?
Want
Okay.
anything?
But yeah, no, y'all keep that.
Oh, I keep this, I just need to sign this. as secretary. And where does it need to go?
Wherever the DD is.
When are we gonna work?
No, I hear that, but does it need to be filed in the contract? No, I'm not trying to be facetious, I'm just.
No,
asking.
well, it's bylaw amendment.
Okay, I just need to make sure, did it need to go anywhere else besides file with us? Okay, I got it.
I mean, well, I would scan it.
Right next to
And
it.
like,
Mhm.
Our building. And
Okay.
cause then that way
Right, it's getting
you'll know
lost.
like, oh, when was the bylaw?
And we won't have to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.